अक्षरसमाम्नयमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनिये नमः। वाक्यकारं वरऋषिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं शुद्धां पुण्यां करोम्यहं पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम्। मुखनासिकावचनोऽनुनासिकः इति सूत्रं पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे प्रारब्धं पुनरेकवारं पश्यामः। तत्र लघुकौमुद्यां मुखसहितनासिकया उच्चार्यमाणः वर्णः अनुनासिकसंज्ञः स्यात्। अतः अनुनासिकः इति संज्ञा दीयते, अनुनासिकः इति विधेयम्, अच इति उद्देश्यं, मुखनासिकावचनः इति तस्य विशेषणं। सो मुखनासिकावचनः अच अनुनासिकः भवति। तत्र मुखनासिका इत्यत्र कीदृशः समासः इति चेत् मुखसहितनासिका नो चेत् मुखद्वितीया नासिका। अनेन प्रकारेण मध्यमपदलोपि कर्मधारय समासः अस्माभिः दृष्टः। सो शाकपार्थिव इज अ टिपिकल एग्जांपल। शाकप्रियः पार्थिवः शाकपार्थिवः। सो शाकपार्थिवादीनाम् उपसंख्यानं तेषाम् उत्तरपदलोपः इति तत्र वार्तिकं दीयते। सो उत्तरपदलोप मीन्स पूर्वपदस्य यदुत्तरपदं तस्य लोपः। सो पूर्वपदं शाकप्रिय तस्य उत्तरपदं प्रिय तस्य लोपः। सो शाकपार्थिव नो चेत् सिंहोपलक्षितम् आसनं सिंहासनम्। अनेन प्रकारेण भिन्नानि उदाहरणानि सन्ति। तथैव मुखसहित नासिका मुखनासिका। So there is a question raised in this context in Bhashya. So mukhasahita nasika iti kimartham? मुखं च नासिका च इति द्वंद्व समासः किमर्थं न भवति? The question is why can't we do a द्वंद्व समास? मुखं च नासिका च यथा रामश्च लक्ष्मणश्च इति वदामश्चेत् both Rama Lakshmana come together in mind. It's not Rama separate and Lakshmana separate. So मुखश्च नासिका च इति द्वंद्व समासः यदि क्रियते तर्हि कः दोषः भवेत्? I mean, Dvandva Samasa actually looks like a better fit. It's a simpler version. Mukham cha nasika cha. Ha.
Is it a question of what kind of padam it is here? It doesn't. If it was a dvandva samasa, it would have to be a samahara dvandva.
Okay.
In which case it would be an apumsakalinga. So then it would be mukhanasikam.
Very good, very good. So then it will be mukhanasikam, and then there will be a pullinga. Rasvo napumsake pratipadikasya would convert it to a pullinga form. Very good. So we have mukhanasika. The strilinga form is there. Therefore, it is grammatically not possible to resolve it as a dvandva samasa. Dvandva samasa asti chet तत्र द्वन्द्वश प्राणितूर्य सेनाङ्गानाम् इति सूत्रेण एकवचनं भवति। स नपुंसकम् इति नपुंसकः भवति। रसो नपुंसके प्रातिपदिकस्य इति रस्वादेशः भवति। एतत् सर्वं कृत्वा मुखनासिकम् इति भवेत्। वस्तुतः किमस्ति? मुखनासिकावचनोऽनुनासिकः इति अस्ति। अतः अत्र मध्यमपदलोपि। अंडरस्टैंड द नेम ऑफ द समास इज मध्यमपदलोपि। द वार्तिकस्य शाकपार्थिवादीनां उपसंख्यानम उत्तरपदलोपश्च, so that उत्तरपद is only to be considered in context of the पूर्वपद. So अनेन प्रकारेण मुखसहित नासिकया उच्चार्यमाणः वर्णः अनुनासिकसंज्ञः स्यात्। तत्र वचन इति शब्दः अपि अस्माभिः दृष्टः। ब्रू धातोः कर्मणि लिट् प्रत्ययः क्रियते। उच्यते असौ सः वचनः. So the one that is spoken is called वचन. कृत्य लिटो बहुलम इति सूत्रस्य विषये किञ्चित् दृष्टं पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे. So lut pratyay is used typically in bhave, karane and adhikarane. Here there is an additional usage in the karmani. So we say कृत्य लिटो बहुलम इत्यनेन अत्र कर्मणि प्रयोगः भवति. So अत्र मुखनासिकया वचनः. A letter that is spoken with the mukha and the nasika both. Mukha nasikaya vachanah, mukha nasika vachanah. अनेन तृतीया तत्पुरुषः अनेन प्रकारेण अत्र मुखनासिकावचनः इति शब्दः सिद्ध्यति. मुखनासिकावचनः और मुखसहित नासिकावचनः सः अनुनासिकः. So that's what the Sudha Teeka explains. मुखद्वितीया नासिका मुखनासिका इति शाकपार्थिवादित्वात् उत्तरपदलोपः उच्यते असौ वचनः इति कर्मणि ल्युट् मुखनासिकया वचनः. So two samasas. There is one samasa in mukhanasika. There is a second samasa in mukhanasika followed by vachana. So mukhanaasikaya vachanah mukhanasika vachanah अनेन प्रकारेण अनुनासिक इति संज्ञा भवति. इयं संज्ञा इदानीं स्वराणां दत्ता अस्ति. So in all the previous sutras one by one, what we saw was swaras are classified into Hraswa, Dirgha and Plita, followed by they are classified as Udatta, Anudatta and Swarita, followed by they are classified as Anunasika. So then he is combining everything together and he says तदित्थं. So eventually अ इ उ ऋ इत्येतेषां वर्णानां प्रत्येकम् 18 भेदाः लु वर्णस्य 12 तस्य दीर्घाभावात् एषाम् अपि 12 तेषां ह्रस्वाभावात्. We all know this. This has been enumerated in the commentary. So तदित्थम् इति 18 भेदाः 18 प्रकाराः. अकारः इकारः उकारः ऋकारः अस्य ह्रस्व दीर्घ प्लुत. So 3 multiplied by udatta anudatta swarita 3 multiplied by anunasika ananunasika 2. So 3 into 3 into 2 18. So anena prakarena ashtadasha prakaraः. Then he talks about dirgha bhavat. Lu varnasya dirghah nasti. So it is 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. So that is 12. तथा च उदात्त लुकार दीर्घ अनुदात्त लुकार दीर्घ स्वरित लुकार दीर्घ तेष अनुनासिकाः त्रयः निरनुनासिकाः त्रयः इति षड् भेदाः न भवन्ति. So out of 18 6 have been removed and therefore finally 12. ह्रस्व प्रपञ्चः षड्विधः. Look at the language and try to learn this. ह्रस्व प्रपञ्चः षड्विधः प्लुत प्रपञ्चः षड्विधः इति लुकारस्य 12 विधित्वम् एव इति भावः. Now if lukara only has 12 bhedas and there is no dirgha bheda, then what happens when lukara participates in a savarna dirgha? So then he immediately quotes hotru lukara ityatra akas savarne dirgha, because rukar and lukar are savarnas. We will be learning about it later on, right in the next sutra, rulu varnayor mitha savartyam vachyam. So rukar and lukar are savarnas. akas savarne dirgha ityanena dirgha deshah katham bhavati इति चेत् लुकारस्य स्थाने दीर्घ रुकारः एव तत्र दीर्घ भेद रूपेण आगच्छति. अतः लुकारस्य दीर्घाभावे होतृ लुकारः इत्यत्र सवर्ण दीर्घे कृते होतृकारः इति ऋकारस्यैव उपादानं भवति इति भाष्ये बहुत्र स्पष्टीकृतमस्ति. सो तुल्यास्य प्रयत्नं सवर्णम् इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे अकस्सवर्णे दीर्घा इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे भाष्योदाहरणमेव प्रमाणम्. सो एतयोः सूत्रयोः होतृ लुकार इति शब्दस्य इति उदाहरणस्य ग्रहणं कृत्वा तत्र किं किं भवति इति सर्वं निर्दिष्टम् अस्ति. So if we go to this akassavarne dirgha, actually hotru plus rikara has 3 different ways to combine the samasa over here. So obviously you can have hotrukara, which is a simple dirgha desha. You can also have rutyaka, which is essentially prakruti bhava. You've studied the sutram rutyaka, so it can just remain as hotru lukara, or you can have something called as a narasimha lukara. Have you people studied narasimha lukara? So it is, the Vartika is called Luti Savarne Lu Va. So when there is a Lu in front, this Lu is replaced by a combination of L and L and Lu. This is called as Narasimha Lukara. So Hota L plus Lu plus Kara. So there are 3 different ways in which Hotru plus Lukara can be combined. I think for now, even if we understand Hotrukara, that should be sufficient. So that's exactly what he says ahead. Lukarasya dirgha bhave hotru lukara ityatra savarna dirghe krute hotrukaraha iti lukarasya nirmanam bhavati iti bhashye bahushu sthaleshu nirdishtamasti tulyasya prayatnam savarnam akas savarne dirgha and so on. Tadanantaram saha vadati एचामपि 12 तेषां ह्रस्वाभावात्. सो एषां ह्रस्वादेशाः न सन्ति इति कथं ज्ञायते इति चेत् he just gives a logical explanation. यदि एचः इत्युक्ते तेषां, यदि एचः ह्रस्वाः स्युः तर्हि वर्णसमाम्नाये ते एव लाघवात् पठ्येरन्. In the varna samamnaya ayuna ruluka, the a and o that we hear are technically defined as dirgha. If a and o and similarly I and o would have their hraswa bheda hypothetically present in the language, then we would enumerate the hraswa bheda instead of enumerating the dirgha bheda. Instead of a we enumerate a, instead of e we enumerate e. In the same way, a I o au are the dirgha bhedas that are being enumerated. Why are dirgha bhedas enumerated in the Maheshwara Sutra? Because their hraswa counterpart does not exist. So out of the three, we see Hraswa. If it is available, we enumerate it. If Hraswa is not there, we see Dirgha. If it is available, we enumerate it. अतः अत्र एषां विषये तेषां ह्रस्वाः न सन्ति, अतः एव दीर्घाः तत्र परिगणिताः वर्तन्ते. सो यदि एषः ह्रस्वाः स्युः तर्हि वर्णसमाम्नाये ते एव लाघवात् अ इ उ इत्यादिवत् पठ्येरन्. विधिलिंग लकारे प्रथम पुरुषे बहुवचनम आत्मनेपदी कर्मणि फॉर्म. न तु दीर्घाः गौरवात्, अतः एषः ह्रस्वाः न सन्ति इति विज्ञायते. एवं च ह्रस्व प्रपंच षड् भेद अभावात्. Because the hraswas are not there, the only options are dirgha and pluta. So ह्रस्व प्रपंच षड् भेद अभावात् द्वादश विधत्वम् एव एषाम् इति भावः. One last question I have. अस्मिन् सूत्रे मुखग्रहणं किमर्थं? केवलं नासिकावचनोऽनुनासिकः इति उच्यते चेत् कः दोषः?
अनुस्वारस्य एव केवलनासिका.
Very correct. अनुस्वार, that's the only corner case. अनुस्वारस्य अत्र अनुनासिकसंज्ञा न भवति. अनुस्वारस्य अनुनासिकसंज्ञा न भवेत् इति हेतुना अत्र मुख इति शब्दः न वर्तते. So technically, in this context, he only defines varna. So there is no ach coming as an anuvritti anywhere in this sutram. The way they have represented it in the commentary, it looks like it is an ach, but there is no ach anuvritti coming in this sutram. So sarve swaraha, yakaraha, vakaraha, lakaraha, varga panchamaha iti sarve anena sutrena anunasika samnyakaha bhavanti. Anuswarasya anunasika iti samnya na bhavati. अग्रिमं सूत्रं तुल्यास्य प्रयत्नं सवर्णम्. किमुद्देश्यं, किं विधेयम्?
सवर्णम् इति विधेयम्.
सवर्णम् इति विधेयम्.
अच् वर्णः एव.
अच् इति नास्ति, वर्णः इति अस्ति. बिकास् दिस् इस् नथिङ्ग् टु रिलेटेड् टु अच्. सो वर्णः इति उद्देश्यं. कीदृशः वर्णः? तुल्यास्य प्रयत्नं वर्णः. सो तुल्यास्य प्रयत्नम् इति उद्देश्यम् इति वक्तुं शक्यते. सवर्णम् इति विधेयं. सवर्णसंज्ञायाः अत्र विधानं भवति. सो तुल्यास्य प्रयत्नं सवर्णम्. What is आस्य प्रयत्नम्? आस्यं च प्रयत्नश्च. द्वन्द्वसमासः. What is आस्यं?
मुखम्.
So how can the word asya meaning mukha fit in this sutram? Is the mukha being compared for the two letters? Do the letters have the mukha? What are we saying? Two letters x and y. If there is asya asye bhavah asyah, no chet asye bhavam asyam. So what is asye bhavam? मुखे यत् किमपि अस्ति. किम् अस्ति मुखे? उच्चारणस्थानम् अस्ति. सो वर्णस्य उच्चारणस्थानं मुखस्थितम् उच्चारणस्थानं. सो वर्णस्य मुखस्थितम् उच्चारणस्थानं तथा च वर्णस्य प्रयत्नः इत्येतयोः समानता वर्तते चेत् तत्र सवर्ण इति संज्ञा भवति इति अग्रे अस्माभिः पठिष्यते. परन्तु तत्र आस्य इति शब्दः कथं सिद्ध्यति? So we start with asya, which is an overloaded word. Asya ityukte mukham. Asye bhavaha, something that is inside the mukham. In order to give this particular artha, we apply the sutram shariravayavadyat. This number is wrong. The number is not correct. I'll show you. So शरीरावयवाच्च इति सूत्रमस्ति. चतुर्थाध्यायस्य तृतीये पादे इदं सूत्रं वर्तते. शरीरावयवाच्च शरीरावयवाचिनः प्रातिपदिकात् यत प्रत्ययः भवति तत्र भवः इत्यस्मिन् विषये. So तत्र भवः exists there. अस्मिन् अर्थे शरीरस्य अवयवः. So mukham for example or asya for example. So you get the yat pratyaya on the top of it. Let's take the simple examples first. Dante bhavaha dantyaha. Danta plus ya. Karne bhavaha karnyaha. Oshthe bhavaha oshtyaha. In the same way, asye bhavaha, something that exists inside the mouth. So we will have asya plus ya. What is the final form? Asya. The same word is returned. Asya plus ya gives asya. What is the prakriya? Asya plus ya should be asya ya. So what happens?
यस्यति च वा
Yasyati cha. Yasyati cha ityanena kim bhavati?
लोपः
Kasya lopaha?
अकारस्य
Akarasya lopaha. Akarasya lopaha. So yasyati cha iti sutrena akarasya lopaha. So asya plus ya. What happens now? So it should be as and double yakar. Asya plus ya. So what is the next step?
लोपोर्वलि
What is val pratyahara?
कारं नास्ति अत्र
फिर
नास्ति
So asya.
झरोझरि सवर्णे
झरोझरि सवर्णे yes. तदपि
What letter is jhar over here? See, basics should be extremely strong before venturing into commentaries.
अनचिचते वा
Anachicha ittanena dvitvam bhavati. We don't want dvitvam. We want to get rid of one letter. Please revise. Very good.
यमां
Hello
यमिलोपः
yamam yamilopaha. Hello yamam yamilopaha. So hal varnat parasya yam varnasya savarne yam varne pare lopaha bhavati. So yakarasya yakare pare lopaha bhavati. Asa plus ya asya iti bhavati. So asye bhavaha asyaha. Anena prakarena asye bhavaha ityukte kim mukhe bhavaha. A lot of things are there in the mouth. अत्र अस्मिन् सन्दर्भे उच्चारणस्थानं मुखे भवः उच्चारणस्थानस्य अत्र निर्देशः भवति. So that is the first part asya. What is prayatna? Prakrushtaha yatnaha. Specifically created effort or elevated effort. Prakrushtaha yatnaha. यत्न इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे नंग इति प्रत्ययः अस्ति. यत इति धातुः अस्ति. यज याज यत विच्छ प्रच्छ रक्षो नंग इति सूत्रेण यत इति धातोः नंग इति प्रत्यये कृते यत्न इति शब्दः सिद्ध्यति. सो बेसिकली एफर्ट इति अर्थः, एलिवेटेड एफर्ट इति अर्थः, स्पेसिफिक एफर्ट इति अर्थः. प्रयत्न इति अत्र शब्दः सिद्ध्यति. कीदृशः प्रयत्नः? वर्णस्य उच्चारणस्थाने जायमानः प्रयत्नः. When a varna is pronounced, some kind of effort is needed. This effort, which is inside your mouth, because we are talking about asya, so mukhasya antah vidyamanah prayatnah abhyantara prayatnah iti tasya anyat nama. Why abhyantara? Because there is some other prayatna which happens outside that area. We would like to classify it as bahya prayatna. So we keep that aside and we say this is abhyantara prayatna. Why is only abhyantara prayatna to be included in this particular sutram? Why not bahya prayatna? because we are talking about asya mukhasya antaha yakopi prayatnah vidyate. The bahya prayatnas are outside the mukha. They are about the vocal cords which are even below the mukha. So because the word mukha is there in the sutram, the prayatna of the ucharana related to the mukha, that is being called as abhyantara prayatna. Clear? So each letter is supposed to have some ucharana sthanam, some prayatna, and any two letters which have the same ucharana sthanam and prayatna will be called as savarna of each other. Tulyam ityukte sadrusham, samanam, similar, identical. So tulyam asya prayatnam yayoho varnayoho tau varnau savarnau. Clear so far? Now it is time to dig into details. Lots of interesting things are going to get revealed. Let's talk about the asyam. Mukhe bhavam asyam or asye bhavam asyam. We are talking about the ucharana sthanas. Let's list the ucharana sthana. Somebody starting from outside to inside in the sequence. 5 main ucharana sthanas. We start with the outside. What is the outermost ucharana sthanam?
Oshtam.
Oshta.
Oshtha, that is outside. Second
Oshta,
is
Danta, Talu.
Dantya.
Danta. Third is
Murdha.
Talu. Sorry, Mudha.
Murdha.
Murdha.
Murdha. Murdha is just after this one. Just after where the teeth end and the inner passage, the upper palate or whatever it is called, that is called Murdha. What is Talu?
The
Talu.
A
sides
little
of the.
Talu
beyond
is the
that.
palate, right?
Beyond that.
I'll little beyond it. I'm going to demonstrate everything. You don't have to take my words for granted at all. Listen throughout the class. The talu is a little before that, and kantha is all the way inside. Okay, understand the sequence. This sequence is evident from the ordering of the 5 rows themselves. Kantha is the innermost, followed by talu, the chavarga, followed by murdha. Murdha is where the teeth end and the inner this part. So that is murdha, dantaha, and oshtha. You have ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, ta varga, and pa varga. Clear? Only 5 places of ucharana sthana primarily discussed over here. Each one of you ensure that they are there in the right sequence. So pa, your lips are being used. Pa. Ta. Observe that the tongue touches the teeth. Ta. 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 Where does your tongue teach while pronouncing ta? Na. Tha. That's your murdha. These 3 places of pronunciation can be very easily seen because the tip of the tongue directly comes in contact with the individual organs. In pa, the tip of the tongue touches the inner part of the lips. In ta, the tip of the tongue touches the teeth. In ta, the tip, no, it's not the tip, a little behind portion of the tongue touches the murdha. For ch and k, you have to take my words or commentaries for granted that the tongue will touch, but it is not the tip of the tongue, it is the back part of the tongue. These 2 organs are inside, so the tip of the tongue cannot roll back and touch these organs. So the corresponding part of the tongue will touch the corresponding organ. So imagine that tongue is like this. 5 organs are situated in the line. Whichever organ is closer to the corresponding part of the tongue will come in contact. So Oshtha is all the way in the end, so the tip of the tongue will touch. Danta, so the part very close to the tip will touch. Murdha, a part little before that will touch. For the talu and kantha, even the inner parts of the tongue will touch the corresponding ucharana sthanas. Clear? Any questions? This in today's class, you
Mahodaya.
have to literally pronounce everything again and again and
Yeah.
again to understand what I'm saying.
Mahodaya, this Murdha and Talu, I don't know. I always feel Murdha is behind Talu.
No, no,
Ichu,
no, no,
we are
no.
doing, when we say Ichu, Cha, the tongue comes a little forward. And when you say
Sure,
Rutu, Rasha, it goes
sure,
backward.
sure. Hold your tongue with your hand and try pronouncing ch, 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 ch. Hold the
Cha,
tip of the tongue with your
it
hand.
touches the top of the palate, right? Ichu
That's what I'm saying.
Yashram.
Hold the tip of the, what touches the top of the palate? The The beginning of
The
the tongue or
tongue.
the backside of the tongue? The beginning of the tongue or the backside of the tongue?
Somewhere, it's not, I won't say it's the tip of the tongue, it's somewhere just behind the tip, means
Okay,
Ichu
let's hold that
Yashana.
and let's try to pronounce ch, ch, ch. You
Okay.
can pronounce it. That's what I'm saying is throughout the class you have to do the exercise. See, imagine where is the, hypothetical place of pronunciation of ch according to you. Imagine which part of the tongue will touch that place. If the place of pronunciation is between the teeth and the murdha, according to you, then there will be some initial portion of the tongue that will touch that place. Hold that portion of the tongue with the hand so that it does not touch anywhere and try to pronounce ch, ch, j. If you are able to pronounce, then it means that the corresponding part of the tongue is not actually touching over there, which means some other part of the tongue is touching over there. If you are not able to pronounce, then it means that that part is exactly touching. So if you, for example, hold the tip of the tongue, you cannot pronounce ta, tha, da, dha, na. Try it out. Why? Because the tip of the tongue needs to touch to the teeth for pronouncing ta, tha, da, dha, na. If you are holding the tip of the tongue, you cannot pronounce pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. This proves that tip of the tongue is important for pronouncing the ta, tha, da, dha, na and pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Hold the tip of the tongue and you can still pronounce ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Ka, kha, ga, gha. It's hard, but you can pronounce it, which means that a different part of the tongue is touching the corresponding organ. So, depending on which part is touching the corresponding organ, if that part is able to touch, you will be able to pronounce the corresponding letters. Therefore, do this exercise, and then what is obvious and what is not obvious is a different thing. But if you do the exercise, it will be clear that by holding the tip of the tongue, ch, ch, j, you can clearly see a different part of the tongue is touching the corresponding mouth organ.